Okay, now what we've got here is the left hand arm. The right hand arm is already in, as you can see there, and the spaces there, and with all its associated adjustment plate there, we now have the arm at a horizontal to the seat. So, and there's a spacer in there and the pin. So, starting off with the arm, the flat of this shaft at the arm end is parallel with the top of the arm. Once we come up to the other side, which is the inboard side, that is 15 degrees kicked up, which is the complementary angle of the seat back being 75 degrees, so it becomes the 90 degrees. Right, it has two spaces at this point, probably around about a 2.5 and a 15 collar, and then that goes into there, like so. At the other end of that, in order, is the adjuster bar with its pin with a collar welded into the back. Oop, there we go. So the adjuster bar will go onto the shaft first. So that will go onto there. So the adjuster bar goes on first, and that will be anchored top and bottom at that point there. Okay, so the adjuster bar is now in place, and that will be locked off at the halfway point there, and it hinges on or revolves around the shaft there. So now we have a spacer which goes on next, and that'll take care of the lip of this, or the shoulder of the pin down there. And then our plate has to have the correct orientation, which will be, now I can't do this without propping up our arm to the horizontal, and then the plate. You can see the flat there, and the plate flat will have to match. So the plate will then be with the flat pointing upwards to the end of the arc. Okay, before I tighten everything down, we can now see internally here the adjuster plate in the centre of its travel of the arc, the flat across the shaft, which is at 90 degrees to the pin, and the pin now sits at the far end of its travel here. So we then have enough room to adjust both ways on this Right, we now have the plate anchored to the shaft with its associated pin, and that can move, but we're going to tighten it up. Now we can see the value of having a decent pin here and having this in the centre and the flats properly done, where the arm comes up and you can smack it onto that end, smack it down to that end, and it still won't move anywhere in terms of additional movement. So as it comes against the pin, there's no movement at all in here. And there we go.